Okay. Hey, today I'm super excited. You can see on the screen here, we've got Duane at, retire early on 500K. He's got a great audience. What do you got? Like 56,000 subscribers.
56 and counting. Yeah.
Yeah, retired at 59, retiring on a modest income, uh, intimate sharing of financials. I mean, Duane, you're a hero of mine. I love listening to your channels. You're in the high desert. Your background views are better than mine. Okay.
Yeah.
In the high desert, just outside of LA, correct?
Yeah. It's about an hour and a half east of LA. So the high desert as opposed to low desert. Low desert is more like Palm Springs. High desert is if you go a little past that east, we're up at about 2,500 or 3,000 feet elevation. So that means in the summer, you're like 15 degrees cooler in Palm Springs, and I'll take that.
All right, so Duane reached out to me a few days ago, folks, and we thought it would be great just to do a little collaboration. We've gotten to know each other a little bit through our videos. We've been pen pals, emailing each other for several months, maybe over a year, and just talking as creators. We thought it would be fun to ask each other some questions. That's been on our mind. We thought that would be some great content and some lessons learned for you folks out there. So Duane, if you'd like to start, or you make an introduction and start with a
Well,
question for me.
absolutely. First of all, Joe, I just want to say before I retired, you were one of the main channels that I was watching.
Oh,
You, Rob Berger, and also, do you know the channel Two Sides of Phi?
yeah, yeah,
Those three channels, for
yeah,
me, that was my retirement Bible. So
yeah.
I want to thank you,
Well,
just in front of
thanks.
everyone that, man, you made a big difference for me. So the first question, let's get the elephant out of the room. When were you going to tell us about that 10 million you made on crypto?
10 million. Well, I was hiding that from the audience, my 10 million.
That's what I thought. I also saw in the background, it's like this big dollar sign was up there.
Yeah, yeah, you could tell by some of the comments on my channel. It said there's a lot of crypto messages that come in there from these bots that, man, those are my nemesis. I spend probably an hour and a half a week just deleting and reporting those cryptos. So yeah, I actually own zero crypto, and I
What's
probably never will.
Yeah, you know what? Okay, so that'll be my first question after that joke question got out of the way. What are you? Because just to give you, my feelings on crypto. Number one, I don't know anything about it. I'm not going to invest in it. Number two, it's not an actual product. It's a speculation. Number three, the variability on it is just I will not. I won't touch that. What are your thoughts on crypto?
Yeah, uh, Dwayne, I think you hit the nail on the head. For a retired person, I'm not seeking out drama in my investments.
Yeah,
I'm not, and there's so many people that have made a lot of money, but it's on hype. It's on speculation, like you said.
yeah,
I believe in the spirit of the worker. And when you're investing in companies like Apple or Nvidia, you're investing on people that are trying to innovate, trying to create, trying to be more efficient. And
absolutely.
I like betting on them versus, hey, I'm going to put it here and hope something happens inside of crypto.
Yeah,
I really got the same view of gold and silver. A lot of people own that
exactly.
and have done well with that, but I, they don't make anything. That's really the Warren
Yeah.
Buffett has influenced my opinion there a lot. Hey, I believe in people and in trying to innovate and create.
Yep, I agree, and I'm glad you brought up the gold and silver because I feel pretty much the same as you do on that. I have none of it. I am a risk averse
Yeah,
investor. I don't have like you said in the beginning. I retired on a little over $500,000. I don't have. If I had 5 million, sure, I could take a little chunk here and be more risky, but I don't have that much to lose.
yeah.
So I'm pretty much risk averse. If I do any kind of outlier thing, it'll be for 1% or less of my portfolio.
Yeah, and even if you could make money over a 10-year period, it's the drama. And
Yes.
I'm 61 now. I don't want my portfolio to go down 50% because I was greedy. And then to just have stress when I'm 61 and 62 years old, I'm probably
Yeah.
the healthiest I'm going to be right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
So I don't waste those years. Yes, it works out for 1 in 500 people. Good for
Yeah.
you. I'm with the other 499. Take out the drama. And that's what
Yeah.
retirement's about. I think that is a hard transition for people to make. It was hard for me.
Me
I was an
too.
aggressive investor. 5 years before I retired, I was 100% equities. 100%.
Real? Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Wow. Okay.
100%. And then I
You're
just barely started to
much less
convert.
risk averse than me.
Well, but then when I retired, all of a sudden you're not getting this monthly paycheck coming in. You're like, hey,
Yeah.
wait a second. I'm going to start digging a moat around my assets. Dig a moat, put a fence
Yeah.
up. And that was surprising to me that I got more conservative. But I'm telling you, it was the very wise thing to do.
I agree.
And I have talked to people that they retired. Hey, I'm retiring on Monday. I got 100% in the S&P 500, and I'm going, man, that's high risk. Just you think
Yeah.
about that. What if the stock
Yeah.
market goes down 30% the next 2 years? It can happen,
Yeah.
and that can just ruin your mindset. And I think that's
Oh, yeah.
crypto. It's just ruining your mindset.
Yeah. And also a sequence of returns risk. I mean, the first 5 years, which I got hammered 6 months into, man, that will, there's been studies done, as I'm sure you know. It's like, if someone retires into a good market with the same amount as someone who retired into a bad market, 10 years down the road, there could be a humongous difference in their portfolio.
Oh
So
yeah.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah, you've got to play defense, and I like to say, and this isn't my quote. I've tried to find who penned this, but it was or coined this was, if you've won the game, stop playing.
Yeah.
I said there's 5 minutes left in the football game, and you're up by three touchdowns. You don't need
Yeah.
to score anymore.
Exactly.
Stop being
Yeah.
risky with what you're doing. And I've shouted that from the mountaintops on my experience, and hopefully some people will, take that under consideration as they retire. Is don't try to win the game. But you've been trying for enormous growth for 35, 40 years, and then you got to switch in
Yeah.
retirement.
That's a big
Yeah,
mindset switch. Yeah, I agree.
yeah, yeah. Good question. So, hey, what for you? What do you wish you knew when you retired that you know now?
Man, I just actually put out a video about that. It was what do I wish? I think if I get this title right, what do I wish I knew before I retired? In parentheses, 4 years after I retired.
Yeah, yeah,
I just put that out like a week ago, so there's about 10 of them in there. But I'll say, probably the biggest one is how much time in the day there is. Because it's different from when you're working and you're on vacation. You're on vacation, you're doing vacation things. But once you get past that little honeymoon period of when you first
yeah,
retire, after like, let's say a month, 2 months, some people go 6 months, boom, that kicks in. It's like, okay, it's 9 a.m. What am I going to do for the rest of the day? I mean, I try and get all, I'm the kind of person who needs to get out. I need to get out once a day. So I
yeah,
will get out in the morning, 8:30, 9 o'clock. I'm gone for 2 or 3 hours. That's good for me. I'm good for the rest of the day. I don't really need a schedule, but there's just so much time to fill up. And if you don't know that going into it, which I didn't, it can, especially if you're a person that needs to have a schedule.
yeah,
If you need to be on a schedule, you need to figure that out like a couple years before you retire. You know what I mean?
yeah. Oh yeah. There is what I tell people is the days are long. This is again isn't my quote, but the years go by fast.
Yes,
I mean, you
absolutely.
retired in 2021,
Yeah,
and I mean, it's almost been 4 years, 3.5 years, 4 years. How fast has that gone by?
it's crazy. It's crazy. It feels like a year, maybe.
Yeah.
It really does. And I think, I didn't start this YouTube channel until about, okay, November of 2022. So up until then, I was keeping myself busy. Number one, I bought a house 6 months into my retirement, which I wouldn't recommend that to anyone, but it's something I had to get. It's like I had a plan, the plan didn't work out. I'm like, okay, I got to get this property. But I think the busier you keep yourself, like with the YouTube channel, like you probably do as well, the quicker that time goes. If
Oh
you're
yeah.
just sitting around doing nothing, I don't know, but I think we both keep pretty busy in our own way. I think that makes it go a lot faster.
Yeah, and that's one of my messages. I feel obligated to tell people, I've been retired 6 years. It's gone by like that. And I'll be
Yeah.
talking to somebody that's like 66, 67 that has enough money to retire. And I'll say, oh, I was thinking about working to 70. I'm going, you are not going to believe how fast those next 5, 10 years go. And then you're 80,
Yeah.
and you're going to be slowing down. So that's part of what I think both of us are trying to communicate to people. Man, it goes by fast.
It really does. It's
And
amazing.
and you're, you know, some people can't retire early. They
Yeah.
can't retire when they're 59 or in their 50s or early 60s. But if you can, man, I'm telling you, it goes by fast. And I don't want people to regret that. If that's information you and I can share with others, we need to share. That's really the what I think about with my channel and yours is,
Yeah.
hey, you don't need to make mistakes. Listen to the people that went before you. What would they do differently?
Exactly. Speaking of that, this will lead into my next question. Is that okay? Since then you've retired to 54. Most experts. Well, I shouldn't even do the quotes. We'll just say most experts, because there are a lot of experts out there. They say that you plan for a 30-year retirement. Are you planning, since you retired at 54? Are you planning for like a 35 or 40-year retirement?
Yeah, it's really not up to me how long my retirement is.
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, my model, I model to 90. But what I've understood, and you learn a lot from your parents. My dad is still alive. My mom just passed a couple months ago. Is
yeah. I'm sorry to hear that.
you really don't spend much money at the end. I
Yeah.
mean, my wife and I could probably live just on Social Security at the end, the last few
Wow,
years.
that's nice. Yeah,
And it's, we own our house, we don't have any debt. I was planning when I retired, I was planning on working about 5 years as a consultant in reliability and maintenance space.
right.
So that's one of the roles that I had at my company. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the coaching and mentoring. Um, I did that around the world, so I got to travel a lot,
Oh,
and I
wow.
just loved it.
Okay.
I wanted to pass on to the next generation what I've learned. So these new maintenance managers and plant managers that are in their 30s and 40s, and so I was planning on making money doing that. Well, I retired in 2019. Does anybody remember what happened in 2020?
Yeah,
Yeah, all consulting just
yeah.
shut down. So that went to zero. So, we just lived like everybody else did, tried to, survive one day to the next through all that pandemic stuff. And, then I started, leaning into YouTube. I was making YouTube videos on reliability maintenance. That's if you go
I
back and
remember because I
yeah,
went back and looked at some of your older videos, and yeah, that's you kept with that for what, a couple years probably?
I 2 straight years. Yeah,
Yeah,
2 straight years. And then one of the viewers asked me, "How are you retired? What what did you do?" And
yeah,
then those videos got a few more views.
yeah, yeah. That's another thing, Joe. It's like, I don't know about you. I mean, this is just, I don't know if people will be interested in this. Just a quick little comment I want to make. Have you noticed on your YouTube channel when you try and put in like a different kind of topic, it usually doesn't do too well, even though you as a creator might have a lot of interest in it?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I make
And
videos.
I'm sorry, the reason I'm asking is that because you said you started on reliability and then you did a switch, but for you, the switch worked.
Yeah, I mean, I probably made 250 videos on reliability and maintenance. And it was the same format. It was just like I was, in a room talking to a maintenance manager or a plant manager. I love to help people. I think that's my calling in retirement is to help people.
Yeah.
Help with my experience. I help with my hands a lot. um, Sometimes that's hard on a 61-year-old body, but I like to help people. And if I have information that can make your job easier or make your plant and your company more profitable, I want to share it with you. And that's how
Yeah.
that started. 250 videos, I was starting to run out of ideas. So
Yeah.
then I was, like I said, somebody asked me to make a video on why I retired and what did I do financially, and those videos got 100 times the views.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
I have not run out of ideas for retirement videos. The comments, nearly 100% of my video ideas come from the comments. Somebody will ask me a
Wow.
question, and then I just
Yeah.
turn that into a video. Instead
That's
of
amazing.
replying back to them, I say, good video topic. I type that back to
Yeah.
them,
Yeah.
and then I make a video based on a comment. That's almost 100%.
That's amazing. I do that once in a while, not 100%, but you know what? That's one thing about, I'm sure both of our comment section, man, there are some good information in there. My viewers are teaching me at least as much as I hope I'm teaching them, you know?
Absolutely. I'd say the same thing, Duane. I tell you, if you're watching my channel, read the comments, you'll get more out of it than what they're listening
Yep.
to me.
Yep.
Great discussions, great debates, people that disagree. Hey,
Yes.
I'm not necessarily, I don't claim to be right. I'm just sharing my journey to help you with an experience and say, hey, this guy retired, or gosh, he decided to take Social Security at 70. Why did he do that? I think he's wrong. Well, if that helps you make a more confident decision, my experience, good for you. That's exactly what I'm trying to do.
Tell me what you think about this idea for a video. I'm thinking about doing one on strictly tacos.
I love it. Hey, people love props. I get comments. I've got a couple props behind here. I got Yoda back there and R2D2, and everybody
Yeah.
notices what's on my desk back here. So
Yes.
I made several videos where I'd put Yoda all over the room back here, and people would say, I'd say, find the Yoda.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Hey, let me see. I'm going to ask you another question. We're approaching right at 30 minutes, Duane, so we're going to have to wrap this up. That was our target.
Okay.
But let's see. We both talk a lot about money on our channels. Do you worry about money more now, 4 years later, than you did the day you retired? More or less?
Absolutely. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Joe, I think it was kind of like a trial of fire when I went through that sequence of returns risk. And I mean, because 6 months into it, I retired in August of 2021. 6 months later, started plummeting. So because of that, I kind of was like, I don't want to say used to, but I was kind of like hammered into submission about worry, 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 worry. And that, as it's gotten better and better and better, as I show in my monthly updates, it's been a slow, steady rise for me. So now, I would say the last year, especially, my money worry is substantially down from when I retired, and especially 6 months into retirement. So yeah, it's gotten a lot better.
Yeah, that's a common story, and I didn't know your answer for that. I appreciate that because going into retirement, I had so many spreadsheets. I had talking to so many
Yeah,
people,
yeah,
and then I'm going afterwards. It's kind of like, hey, I got a system, I got an approach, and it seems to work. And I really only focus on my finances once a quarter. I don't even look at it once a month. Once a quarter, I sit down and I spend a couple hours diving in and saying, okay, I'm good, um, and just move on. I
is
talk
it
more on my
is that
videos
also,
about money.
sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. Is that also, do you, that once a quarter, is it also checking what your overall net worth or
Yeah,
nest egg is?
yeah.
Wow, that's pretty good. Well, I have to do once a month for my monthly budgets, but once a quarter is pretty good.
Well, what I found, once a quarter, I spend different amounts each month. So, like, last year, I took a trip to Washington State for 2.5 weeks. Well,
Yeah,
that's a big blip. If I would study that month, I'd say, oh my gosh, my expenses are out of control.
yeah,
And then I'd
yeah,
want to course correct. And then the next month, I didn't spend enough, because
yeah,
I didn't have any vacation, you know, in there. So
yeah,
there was just so many ups and downs. I felt a quarter was better to like take a snapshot. Hey, how's my spending doing? And that's the
yeah.
main thing that, one of my biggest challenges, I'm over it now, but my biggest challenge was spending money.
Oh yeah, I hear you. Yep. I had
I,
that
I
too.
call
Not
it
not it
confidence to
wasn't a
spend.
huge challenge, but it definitely was there. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So, hey, Duane, I think let's wrap up here. We'll save some of the questions for our next video that's going to be hosted by you.
Yeah.
If you like this content and two people talking here, two friends talking, leave us a comment, give us a like, give us a share. Please check out Duane's channel at Retire on Modest Income. Retire at 500K is what it's called. I think you'll love it. He does intimate sharing of what's going on in his retirement journey with a much prettier background than my office.
Oh, here,
Final.
I'll give you a quick shot before we go. It's a nice day today. I don't know if you can see. Can you see out here?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Joe, that's the reason I got a mortgage. That's the only
Yeah.
reason.
Hey, man, it's everybody gets the right to plan and execute their own retirement, and you're doing it on your terms. I just love it.
Hey, yeah, and I just wanted to add that, we will be doing different topics on this, recent trending retirement topics. So whatever you guys want us to talk about, let us know. And yeah, like Joe just said, the next episode will be on my channel, Retire Early 500, or can't even remember our channel, Retire Early 500K. And we're just going to flip back and forth like that. So if you guys like it, please let us know and let us know the topics you want us to talk about.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Joe.